Hey guys, my name is Moon and welcome to Umineko When They Cry, episode 6. So we are finally in the second of the answer arcs, finished episode 5, and I don't know what to expect with episode 6 because Butler has now become a territory lord. He has become a game master. So episode 6 is gonna be his game. What stories are we gonna get? What mysteries are we gonna get? What is gonna be revealed here? I cannot wait to find out. So let's do this. Episode 6, Dawn of the Golden Witch. Good morning. It is the last time for the curtain to rise on Butler-sama's game. Let's observe the fight from the opposite side of the chessboard. Can Butler-sama succeed in playing the demanding role of the game master? There is no longer any difficulty level. At this point, these are not hints but a confession. Okay, we'll see. Let's do this. Let's go. These are not hints but a confession. What does that mean? Okay, I'm very excited. So I guess Erica's gonna be back, right? Oh, hell no. 100% she's gonna be back. She's gonna try to redeem herself, I suppose, this time around. What is this? A beautiful glow shone in front of the skylight over the Grand Cathedral. The place was somehow different from the way it had been during the witch's trial. The decorations had changed. The several pleasantly sparkling white ribbons that adorned it were thin like razors, but they trailed beautifully in the air. Flowers were arranged all over in a way that would make any place look cheerful. It was like how a single drop of impure water can spoil an entire cask of wine. Just the presence of those flowers, those ribbons, and the red carpet that ran down the center of the room made it hard to believe that this was the same place Ushirumi and Natsu had been falsely accused of a crime. It had truly become a wedding chapel. Who is this? Oh my god, we just started and we have new characters that looks the same, it's just different outfits and the hair. Not the outfits are the same as well. What I mean is it's technically like the stakes, right? The Seven Sisters. They just have some different color schemes, I guess, to them. These words, spoken by the two demons who seem to be in charge of this gathering, were part of a ceremony for making an oath of love before the eyes of God. Of course, in this wedding celebrated by demons, there was no priest in sight. Instead, there stood a witch who controls miracles. Burnt Castle.
健やかな時もやめる時もそうねやめる時に支えてこそ妻だわそうよねエリカ
Wait, who is getting married? What? Oh my god, what is happening?
我が主似合ってるわよそれ花婿の征服者としてふさわしい装いじゃない光栄です我が主
The bride standing on the carpet path was Furudo Erika. The groom's face couldn't be seen. The bride's outfit certainly was pure white or a pure white wedding dress. Her veil represented both the white of God's blessing and the white of a demon's cruelty. A great many goat nobles, witches, and demons were gathered for this wedding. If only their heads hadn't been those of goats. It would probably have seemed a very fine crowd worthy of this great cathedral.
さすがよベル。いちいち考えることがえぐいったらありゃしない。
病める夫に支える妻。素敵じゃない。お似合いよ、エリカ。そしてあなたにもおめでとう、新郎。
Mr. Groom. At that point, Berncastle stared straight into the groom's eyes. The groom didn't answer. His eyes were gray. His lips would mutter something from time to time, but no one could tell if the words meant anything.
ねえ、聞いてる？
Are you listening?
あんたたち。
She spoke to the groom in the plural. Of course, there was only one groom. And of course, the gray groom didn't answer.
聞こえてはいても答えられませんか？安心してバトラさん。
What? Wait, she's getting married to Butler? Are you serious right now?
あなたのすべてを私がにじり尽くしてあげますから。
What is happening? The Witch of Miracles sneered with an evil smile that even a demon would shudder to look at. Even that sneer provoked no response from Butler's dim eyes.
人は愛のために生きるのです。すなわち、今日あなた方は生まれてきた意味を、目的を成し遂げた。
生きる力、愛の力のなんと偉大なことか。今日という日の輝きがどうかお二人を永遠に祝福しますように。
うるさいわ、悪魔ども。次の次第は何よ。
お二人に永遠の愛の制約を求めます。
その次は指輪の交換を。
On Butler's hand was the ring bearing the seal of the one-winged eagle, proof that he was the territorial lord of this world. And on Erica's finger was a diamond ring that could not be shattered by any miracle. Diamonds signify an eternal bond. The word diamond simply means unbreakable. Erica wasn't vowing to love Butler forever. She wanted to rule over him as her eternal property. The wedding was being performed for the sole purpose of defiling Butler.
ご安心を。あなたを永遠に愛したりなんかしません。だからこの挙式はあなたを征服する儀式です。あなたの心は永遠に脱出不可能の密室に閉じ込められ、この私、探偵にして真実の魔女、フルドエリカに支配される。あんたの持つ領主の座も、その証の指輪も、私のものとなる。
ねえ、ない。
なんです？
出られない。
This is such a weird opening, honestly. What?
ないですよね、その密室。あんたが自分で作った密室なんですから。あんたは永遠にその密室で苦しむんです。私は妻として、あなたのそばに永遠にいて、その苦悶の表情を独り占めします。あなたを永遠に、私が怪我し尽くしてあげます。後ろ宮バトラー。
世界に散らばるオーブ視覚に届かぬもの実体のない観測者全地を満たす繰り返すペンデュラムわずか少しの不純動機生命の木の果実は土に落ちた魔法のように不自然でじみたこの儀式が自分を描く筆先で構えるのなら世界ごと否定する夢なきそれはまるで全てを見透かすように不埒な力で嘲笑い至福に満たされゆく夢なき錯乱する描写で誇示するほど全知の力は覆り剥がれ落ちゆく仕組まれた奇跡へと
That was such a weird opening, man. What was that? We had a wedding already? From the beginning. All that could be heard was the sound of wind. A sound of misfortune, sorry, bringing sadness and unease to all who heard it. Slowly, I came back to my senses. I finally regained consciousness on top of a bed with a firm mattress. Where was this again? I can't remember where this is, but I can vaguely recall that I must not remain here. So who is this now? The room was dimly lit. There was a light on, but that just made the darkness and eeriness of the room more apparent. There were no curtains over the window, but it was too dark outside to see anything beyond it. If I squinted into that pitch blackness, it felt as though I could see the witch of the forest peeking back at me from the darkness. And I averted my gaze from the window in fear. I can't see or hear it, but I get the feeling that if I leave this room, it'll be a bright and warm and someone else's will be there for me. I want to get to where everyone else is as soon as I can. Bad memories from when I was very young began to well up. Horrible, harsh memories of when I started dozing off during a family gathering and was put to sleep in some room I didn't know. What? I remember waking up there incredibly lonely and sobbing. Well, who is this? Is this Maria? Kinda feels like Maria though. I must not remain in this room. I just want to get out of here quickly. Once that thought crossed my mind, I didn't want to stay in the room a second longer than I had to. I'm scared. It's creepy. Where is everyone? I want to get out of here, like right now. I opened the door, trying to leave the room. A pleasant glow snuck in through the crack of the door. As I thought, the corridor was filled with a comforting light. I couldn't actually hear them, but I could sense that far away, people were enjoying themselves. I'm sure everyone's gathered in the room across from this one. I've been shut up in this lonely, creepy room all alone. So I should go quickly. What she got? She got a chain. As soon as I thought this merciless metallic sound rang out and the door refused to open any further. The chain had been set. I've always hated chain locks. You can open a normal lock by just twisting it. But chain locks are built in an annoying way and I couldn't work them easily. So I've hated them ever since I was very young. See, even this chain is causing me trouble and I just can't get it undone. Why is this happening? I just want to leave this creepy room right away. Just on the other side of this thin door, everything is bathed in a warm light. I can't undo it. I just can't undo this chain. The more desperate I grew, the more the unsettling darkness seemed to be closing in on my back and the more frightened I become. So maybe not Maria, maybe the culprit? Is this the culprit? And then I finally noticed there's something wrong with this chain. Yes, there is a chain, but this isn't a chain lock. This is just a chain staked into a door, preventing it from opening any further. In other words, it isn't made to be opened. What the hell is going on? Yes, correct. Who'd do something like this? No matter what I did, and no matter how much I struggled, I couldn't pull out the stake or undo the chain or break the mechanism. The door was just a demon's mouth made to trick me into thinking it would open before crushing my hopes. Even so, if only I could just open this door somehow, I could get out into that pleasant corridor. That desire or this desire forced me to keep my hand glued to the doorknob. But it was useless. Both the chain and the stake were firm, and no matter how much I clattered them about, there was no chance of the door opening any further. Even though I could see the pleasant hallway through the crack, I had no chance of opening the door any further. Maybe someone will come if I yell. Maybe the door can be opened easily from the outside. When I thought this, I tried to call out to someone, but I couldn't make the words come out. I could mouth, "Someone, come here," but no voice left my lips. What is going on? Someone, come, help me. Why can't I cry out? Help, help. The mere fact that I can't say help me out loud is even scarier. If I turn around, the witch gazing into the room from the darkness outside might be the inside room this time, standing right behind me. I'm frightened. I'm scared. Someone help me. Someone help me. I can't get out. Let me out of this room. Help me. I'm scared. Let me out. Help. Who is this person? Honestly, maybe the culprit. Yeah, I think maybe this is the culprit. I mean, it did say in the, what do you call this, the, not explanation, but for episode 6, it said this. It is said this is a confession, right? So maybe that was the culprit. We'll see. We'll find out. Okay. My lady? What's this? Oh, you're back, Amakusa. In an instant, I awoke from the doze I'd just been in. Oh, Enje. Maybe it was Enje, the one there, right? Because she pretty much disappeared in episode 4. So maybe that was Enje. Yeah. Maybe Enje. Okay. I glared at Amakusa for waking me up in such a creepy way, but he just pretended not to notice. So I guess this is, or This scene here is before they went to Rokkenjima, maybe? Right? Because yeah, it said there she died in 1998, right? I don't know, maybe it's after. Who knows? Where is this? It feels like a parlor in some dignified person's house, but I have no memory of this place at all. Where is this? And why am I?
お嬢、寝ぼけてるんですかい？
ええ、ごめん。ここ、どこ？
はあ？
Apparently he hadn't expected me to forget something like that just because I wasn't fully awake yet. For once, I agreed with him. Why am I in some parlor that I don't recognize? The sound of the footsteps from the day Amakusa had mentioned, that day, had come right up to the opposite side of the door. I could hear conversing voices. Is that a woman? Judging by the coffee and snacks laid in front of me, I was the guest here. In that case, I'd better remember why I came here. Sorry. Or at least who it was I came to visit. Who am I? Ushirimiya Anji. Who's the man standing behind me? Amakusa Juza. What did we get? Let me see. Wasn't it tips? It is not tips. No. Characters? Okay. So it's pretty much the same. The man who used to be my guard long ago. He's now the bodyguard Okonogi assigned to me. Okonogi. In that case, is this after Aunt Ava's death when I've thrown off my pursuers on the journey to find what happened 12 years ago? Is that how it went? Do I really have a memory like this? So it's probably right in between her arriving in Rokkenjima, I guess. After a knock, the door opened, and the person I must have come here to meet entered along with an assistant. Oh, wonderful. Even after seeing her face, I can't remember who she is.
お待たせいたしました。八条東也先生でございます。
Hachijo Toya. That's a relief. That doesn't introduce her to me first. And I finally remembered who she was. She? I thought it was a he.
失礼ながら、先生で？
ええ。
She looks like an Ojo-sama. Yeah. The way her hair, I mean her haircut. Ojo-sama? Hime-sama? How do you say that? But yeah, technically like a princess or a queen or whatever.
私が八条東也です。
Hachijo Toya. But why did Amakusa said he?
週刊誌に先生のサイン会の件が載ってましたぜ。サングラスにマスクでがっちりガードした謎の男性作家って触れ込みだったはず。まさか女の先生だったとは。こりゃどういうわけで？
Who is this character?
あれは編集部の方に手配していただいた身代わりです。
Let us see. Hachijo Toya. A message bottler or bottle folger. I mean, butler, I said butler. Bottle forger. She is a mysterious novelist. A message bottle forger. Okay. Claiming to have found the truth of Rokkenjima, she writes new tales and publishes them on the web as though giving out extra hints. However, I have no memory of meeting her before my trip to Nijima. Okay. Who are you, lady? Okay, I think this is a big character here.
あのサイン会の時、後ろに待機していた海添が私でした。
こりゃ驚いた。
She had a double. for a book signing event, but she was still there. She just didn't want to sign. But she was watching what was happening. She pretended to be like the assistant.
先生の作品は読んだことないが、多分あんた本人の方がよっぽどミステリーですぜ。
読者など本を読んでいるふりをしているだけ。作者名とブランドだけで本を読み、読んだつもりでいる。彼らには私の本に何が書いてあっても何も読んでなんかいない。ただ今流行りの作品は欠かさず読んでいるとインテリぶるために読んだふりをしているだけ。その程度の者どもにどうして我が身をさらせようか。ああ、汚らわしきかな、汚らわしきかな。
なるほど。確かにあなたが八条先生のようですね。
This person is really is eccentric. There's no doubt about it. This is Hachijo Toya herself. Hachijo Toya is a mystery novelist who's become the center of discussion lately. It seems her books themselves have been highly praised, but it's her mysterious debut that's attracted so much attention towards her lately. Last year, she managed to win several different awards for exceptional mystery novels offered by multiple large publishing companies, submitting each of her works under a different pen name. And after that, several highly regarded anonymous works were discovered one after another to have stories she had written in the past under false names. Her popularity had soared as she herself became more mysterious in her books. Despite all of this, the author herself never appeared in public and everything about her was warped in a veil of secrecy. However, just a few days ago, this author finally appeared in public for a book signing, showing up with a mask covered his face and drawing even more public attention. And yet, apparently, even that had been fake. Given this person's radically unconventional track record, it was hardly a surprise to hear her casually insult her fans like this.
後宮エンジェさんのこともワイドショーでもずいぶんいろいろやってましたから、私もよく知っていますよ。
どうせろくな話じゃないわ。
ええ、ろくでもない話ばかりですよ。気分一つで人を雇ったりクビにしたり、何でもお金で解決しようとする無法者の乱暴者だとか。
違いね
え。でも私はあなたのような頭のいい人は嫌いではない。
だから会ってくれたんですか？
ええ。伊藤育九郎0576が私八条東也の別のペンネームだと見破ったのはあなただけ。
Okay.
実に見事なるかな。
伊藤育九郎0576。おかしなハンドルネームだったわ。でも数字に直すと110億1996万576と読める。
This massive number is equal to 18 to the 18th power. 18 to the 18 in Japanese is Toya no Hachijo. In other words, Hachijo Toya.
よくできました。実に見事。そんなあなただから私も直接会ってみたかったのです。ようこそ人の子よ、我が邸宅へ。
Welcome to my mansion, child of man. Her manner of speaking was extremely condescending. But perhaps because of her elegant manner, it didn't feel particularly irritating. This person had sort of a majestic grandeur about her, which made the style of her speech seem almost natural. I mean, that's why I said earlier, she seems like a queen, a Himesama type of person, right? At least that's how it felt to me. In fact, it almost as though this was the manifestation of some noble being who would have no need to show herself before mere humans under normal circumstances. Since I'm not particularly a fan of hers, I guess this is the proof that her mysterious charisma really is nothing to be laughed at. However, I did not come here to talk to Hachijo Toya, the mystery novelist. I'm interested in Ito Kukuro Reigo Namu, the mysterious web author who only releases her works over the internet. Around the Japanese parts of the internet, Ito Kukuro is an extremely famous witch hunter. However, she isn't a big opinion leader like Professor Otsuki. So Professor Otsuki, remember that guy? The one Angie was talking back then? I think it was him. But by the end, he got invited to have some matcha tea with Kasumi, right? So he's probably gone now. Maybe. She's one of the message bottle forgers who are always the center of a vigorous debate. Message bottle forgers are, as the name suggests, people who forge and post the contents of what purport to be a mysterious message bottles dealing the events of the Rokkenjima incident. So, okay. I think this gives us more insights that, yes, they are fake, I guess, fake message bottles. But as we went to the story, we only found 2, right? From the fisherman and the police. How about the others then? If they're like message bottle forgers, where are those? They claim to discover a new message bottle and post either a very similar counterfeit story or any theory with their own interpretation of the truth, all which are supposedly written by Ushinami Maria. Oh, okay, so it's not found, but they claim that they found some message bottles. So I guess you could say, yeah, message bottle forgers. They just claim that these are what happened in Rokkenjima. They found these letters, but in reality, maybe they're the ones who just made that, right? In so doing, they openly take on the Ushinami Maria, or the name of Ushinami Maria, writing up a new bizarre tales as if they've been present themselves and knew the truth. They then send these stories out into the newest sea discovered by humankind, the internet, claiming that it's a 3rd or 4th message bottle. All of the first forgers were either simple pranksters or crooks trying to swindle collectors. Eventually, though, people who claimed to have solved the riddles of the message bottles, tales, or reached the truth started to appear. And they started creating original works of their own 3rd, 4th message bottles from Ushinami Maria, as though they had moved over to the riddle teller's side. These people rewrote the tale of the witch with whatever interpretation they wanted, and every once in a while, parts of their theories would gain big followings on the net. Some of these creations grew to be so widely trusted that they were believed to contain some grain of truth. The more rigid witch hunters openly despised these people, calling them forgers, counterfeiters, or just, in general, witches. Though they claim to have reached the truth, they refuse to tell anyone and create fake message bottles as though testing everyone else. It was no surprise that more straight-laced witch hunters were seriously annoyed by these forgers. However, among those who simply like to entertain themselves with the occult fantasy of Rokkenjima, and an extremely small number accepted these creations as literary, glad of these additions to the mysterious tale. Ito Kukuro was the most highly regarded of these forgers.
End of the Golden Witch 読ませてもらいました。人の親族をよくも好き放題に殺せるものです。
End of the Golden Witch.
それが言いたいためだけにわざわざここへ？いいえ、違うでしょう。後ろ。
Sorry, what did you say? I accidentally clicked it. I think not the final descendant of the Oshinomiya family. No, if you count Alliance and Banquet, the other forgeries she made before now. Then she killed off most of my family in horrible ways over and over again. Of course I want to complain. Dude. In her latest forgery End, she killed off 7 members of my family, at least during the actual story. So, technically, yes, End of the Golden Witch was, the 5th, or yeah, basically the first episode of the Answer Arcs. So, the 5th episode. She killed off 7, and those 7 were what? Jessica, George, Maria, Rosa, Genji, Kraus, and then we could say Hideyoshi number 7, right? Why is that her? That's her story. What? So if I say it like this, we've played this. So that's why you could say, like from the beginning, Lambda Delta was hinting that it's gonna be much more confusing, right? Yeah. It's because this was written by a forger. The story there was written by a forger. Okay. Of course I wanted to complain. What? I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of confused right now. However, all of her works are known for being in both form and level perfection. The closest to those written by Ushinomiya Maria herself. Who is this person? In particular, Itokukuro's first forgery, Banquet of the Golden Witch. Wait, isn't Banquet another one? Wasn't it this on what game was that again? Managed to fit everything, including Ushinomiya's escape to Kowadorian. People wondered whether this might be the true story of Rokinjima and it ever made onto the talk show. Like Banquet, isn't it the 3rd game? Sorry. So far, all of these tales have been nothing more than electronic text on the web. However, people will eventually realize that Itokukuro is actually Hachijo Toya. When that happens, they'll become works of that bizarre Hachijo and no one will think of them as mere fan creations. People will probably start wondering if this might actually be a 3rd message bottle she found and released under the guise of a story she herself wrote. When that happens, these stories will probably seem even more bizarre and credible.
狡猾ですね。どうして？そうしてあなたは自分の偽書に神秘性と信憑性を与える。
Okay, so I think I have a theory for this person right here. So but we'll continue for now. Yeah.
信憑性とは
After this video, maybe we'll talk about it.
それを得て、あなたの偽書は真実に昇華される。
Because her forgeries are quite good, right? As she's saying this. You're doing this to make your forgeries seem more mysterious and more credible. But yeah, technically the stories that she's making is good. So this one, the Banquet, is the 3rd episode of the question arcs. And then the End was the 5th episode.
昇華。愚かしい。そんなもの、私の作品には必要ありません。なぜなら、あなたの作品は偽書ではなく、真実だから？ええ。真実なのですから、昇華など不要。あなたはマリアお姉ちゃんじゃない。ましてや、あの日の六軒島にも存在しない。なのに、どうして真実などとおこがましいことを？
あじゃあ、頭に血が上りすぎですぜ。
Maria, you aren't Maria One-chan. And you definitely weren't on Rokinjima on that day, so how can you be so absurd as to call this the truth?
うるさいわね。私のどこがそうだってのよ。
We're just starting the episode and yeah, it's so cool. I'm having a lot of theories now. Angie half realized that she'd let her emotions get the better of her. She let out a sigh and shrugged.
あなたがここへ来た理由は、親族を義書の中で何度も殺めた私をなじるためではないでしょ。
Hachijo had been smiling at Angie kindly, but in a condescending manner. Or else, like a mother might watch over a very small child. Angie realized this and was unable to suppress her irritation. Apparently Amakusa could tell that Angie was getting worked up. He joked around with her for a bit so that they could start the conversation over again from the beginning.
"あなたが私に聞きたいのは、私の至った真実でしょう。
どうして真実に至ったと確信を？
すべての物語を理解したからです。
だからどうしてそうだと確信を？
太陽が地球の周りを回っていたことはあると思いますか？
Hachijo suddenly started talking about the Ptolemaic theory. Angie was about to tell her not to answer the questions with more questions, but she quickly realized what Hachijo meant.
かつて人間は天動説を支持していた。しかし近代、それは否定されることとなる。なら否定された瞬間に、太陽は動きを止め、地球がその周りを回り始めたというのだろうか。
そんなわけもない。人間が何を信じようと真実は変わらない。
ならば今、あなたが私の真実を否定するのは、つまりはそういうこと。
The idea of heliocentrism was proposed by several scholars before Galileo. However, it was hard to objectively prove that theory using the scientific techniques available at that time. Even so, that didn't change what the truth was, and yet it moves.
真実はその立証のいかにかかわらず真実だと？
そうです。これより未来、やがて全ての真実が明らかになったとき、私がすでに真実に至っていたと遡って人々は気がつくでしょう。
Apparently Angie just couldn't stand Hachijo's attitude. She kept getting irritated, and every time, Amakusa would joke around until she settled down again. However, there could be no mistake that Hachijo was a genius, and had used her extraordinary intuition to form a most interesting outlook on the events that occurred on the island. That was why Angie had wanted to contact Itakukuro and hear her views. Still, this meeting truly had been fortunate for Angie. She hadn't been absolutely sure that Itakukuro was Hachijo Toya. She hadn't thought that the publishing company would really contact the author, and moreover, she hadn't dreamed that the mysterious masked author would grant her an interview under such short notice. The more she thought about it, the more she realized that the sum of the events leading to this meeting made for nothing short of a miracle. Yes, a miracle. After all, in almost all cases, I'd never be contacted by the publishing company and would leave for Nijima the next day. I'd leave for Nijima, then go to Rokinjima. And then give Oni-chan or One-chan a Sakutaro stuffed animal. Why a Sakutaro stuffed animal? My memory of the future is all muddled. My head hurts. Hachijo said something about showing Angie something good, rose from the sofa and headed for the study desk. When she turned her back, Amakusa asked Angie, who seemed to be troubled by something, if she was okay.
天草。私って、いつからここにいるの？
はあ？さっきから様子がおかしいですぜ。何事ですかい？
私、いつからここに座ってるのか、記憶がないの。
まだ寝ぼけてんですかい？
そうじゃなくて。だって、私は確か、大月教授とはアポイントが取れてたけど、伊藤育九郎の件では出版社から返事がなくて。結局、この日は一日何もできなかったんじゃなかったっけ？
はあ？
天草は、大きな黒いバッグを受け取りに行ったんじゃなかったっけ？
That's right. Just before we left for Nijima, Amakusa and I parted ways just one time. He said something about getting a weapon from an acquaintance of his and he went to get the large black bag. Oh. Wasn't that today? What am I talking about? So yeah, remember when I said the sniper, like Amakusa was the one killing the people in Nijima when NJ was fighting Kasumi? So I guess this is it, the black bag. Yeah, he probably got guns there. I mean, didn't I go to Nijima, meet Captain Kawabata, and inside the bed shop? Huh? What?
どうしました？
Did my confusion and uncertainty make me sigh out loud? Even though Hachijo's back was to me, she slowly turned around and smiled as though she had peered into my heart.
いいえ、何も。
Strange memories, ones that I can't understand. I tried to hide my confusion, but for some reason Hachijo had a strange glint in her eyes, as though she could read my mind.
私は何冊もの記書の中で何度もあなたのご親族を蘇らせては殺す。まるで魔女のように。
好きなだけ蘇らせて、好きなだけ殺す。無限に。まるでベアトリーチェね。
ええ。だから私はやはりネット上で彼らがそう呼ぶように魔女なのかと思って。
She took a thickly packed brown envelope out of a locked drawer. It appeared to be filled to the brim with printer paper. Perhaps this was a manuscript for one of her works. The neat letters written with a fountain pen on the envelope spelled out the word Dawn. Dawn. I mean, Dawn is the name of the episode. There was no forgery by the name Dawn, which must mean it's this episode. Angie could tell this was a new one. Hachijo's newest unreleased forgery.
Dawn of the Golden Witch.
So it's the one we're gonna... What do you call this? Gonna play this episode.
すべてを知る私にはすべてが退屈。しかし何も知らぬ無知にそれを読ませ、何がしかの反応を得ることは嫌いではない。だからあなたに読んでほしい。
新しい無限の魔女としての新作を？
そうです、人の子よ。あなたが憤慨しようとも感嘆しようとも、それは私の病を一時忘れさせる。
もう茶番は終わりにしましょう。あんたは誰？私の記憶に こんな出会いはないわ。
Yes, I did try to contact Hachijo Toya, but in the end I never got a chance to meet her. In other words, all of this is a falsehood.
今度は私は誰の駒？
Whose space am I this
悪
time?
いけど、この後ろ宮エンジェ、飼いならせると思ったら大間違いよ。
やはりそなたは面白いかな。
Is this another witch? She finally couldn't hold it back and burst out laughing. Gradually, the space around them seemed to be filled with a strange purple mist. The room itself seemed to twist and bend. Her figure also twisted, and after something that couldn't be described elapsed, her form changed to become just what she had called herself. A witch.
見事なり。
What is that? What is that on her head? Is that a horn? Horns, I mean? Didn't Hanyu have horns? Hanyu from Higurashi? Yeah, but this one is bigger though.
よくぞ私を見破った。
私ってつくづく魔女に好かれる性分ね。あんたたちに特徴的などこか人を舐めた口調、すぐに魔女だって分かったわ。
The novelist sitting on the sofa was nowhere to be seen. Even Enji's bodyguard, who was supposed to be around at times like this, was gone. There was only a non-human figure relaxing in the large ornate rocking chair.
面白きかな、人の子よ。愉快なり。それでこそ我が退屈にふさわしい。
こっちは全然愉快じゃないわ。どうして私は生きてるの？私は名前を明かしたルール違反でひどい殺され方をしたと思ってたけど。
To be honest, I did doubt that those people would just let me go easily. What kind of farce will I be forced to go along with this time? I really don't care. I'll just do whatever I can within the bounds of the role they give me, whatever I can help Oni-chan, or I can help Oni-chan. Of course, I understand, even if he wins, he'll never come back to me.
でもね、あがくわよ。あの日の私のところへお兄ちゃんを返すためにね。
そういきり立たずともよい。私がそなたに求める役割は駒ではない。
じゃあ何の用で呼び出したの？まさかあんたの書いたとかいう新しい物語を読めとでも言う気じゃないでしょうね。
その通りだ。そなたに望むのは駒ではない。もとより私は傍観者。あやつらのゲームにちょっかいを出す気など毛頭もなし。
意味わかんないわ。あんたは私に何を期待してるの？
私のためにベアトリーチェの紡ぐかけらの観測者であれ。
観測者？よくわかんないけどお断りよ。
かつて私はバトラを通してかけらを鑑賞していた。
She's observed the fragments through Butler's eyes.
しかし彼がゲームマスターを継承した今、観測者としてふさわしくないのだ。私は心より純粋な気持ちで物語を追っている。
Oh, so we're gonna be Anja this time. Okay.
その私にとって
Again,
今
I
の
mean.
バトラを通して観測することはさながら推理小説を逆さに読むにも等しい興ざめ。
Oh yeah, because Butler is a game master. He knows everything now that's gonna happen. So it's much better if we're in Anja's eyes.
お兄ちゃんがゲームマスター？何の話をしてるのかさっぱりだわ。
さっぱりだろう。
You must have no clue what's it all about.
知りたいであろう。私も知りたい。バトラがゲームマスターを継承し紡ぐ物語がどのようなものか。 そしてバトラが至ったという真実がどのようなものか、私の自らの思考の旅で追いたいのだ。私は病の深きに考えねば鼓動を続けることさえかなわぬ。
つまりあんたは新しい絵本を私に朗読してもらいたいってわけ？
そういう解釈でよい。見返りにそなたもまた自由に思考を旅することができる。そなたとて未だ真相には至っていないはず。続けたいはずだ。真相を知る旅を。
あんたに得をさせる義理がないわ。
生きがるな。私は時に寛大だが、多くの場合そうではない。
NJ hadn't yet reached the truth either. Though she knew that the game was a little more than a toy for the amusement of those witches, she wanted it to resume so that she could follow the tale and close in on the king cold truth.
私が真実に至るために物語を追うかもしれないけれど、あんたのために最後まで朗読する義理はないわ。意味はわかる？
NJ was willing to read the story aloud, but she could quit at any time if this witch made her mad. She was in effect warning the witch not to annoy her.
無論だ。絵本と称したが、私にとっては死に至る病への唯一の薬。そなたの買い添えなくして飲むこともできぬもの。すなわち、総理強制だ。
あんたが寝入るまで私に本を朗読しろと。その代わり、私にも読むことを許す。そういうことね。
そうだ。引き受けてくれるならば、しばしの一時、私の朗読者に任ずる。
偉そうな役職名だけど、所詮はただの本読みでしょ？
私の朗読者であるということは、私の使いであるということ。すなわち、そなたへの干渉は私への干渉。私はベアトリーチェの物語の続きを読みたいという唯一の興味を何者にも邪魔されることを許さぬ。そなたをもてあそんだベルンカステルもラムダデルタも、無論ベアトリーチェさえもそなたに対して一切の強制力を持つことは許さない。
The witch, or this witch who seemed to have an almost divine quality to her, spoke both quietly and forcefully. There was no threat in her words. However, even so, it was clear that she was on a different level than Berncastle and the other witches, and not all to be taken lightly.
本を読ませる代わりに私を保護してくれると？
無論だ。私は朗読を望んでいる。それを邪魔する者は何人であれ許しはしない。私の態度が横柄に感じるならば謝ろう。人の子よ。私はこれでもそなたに最大の敬意を持って語りかけている。
みたいね。その魔女らしい口調さえ、どうやらあんたの中では数百年ぶりに見せた敬意って感じがするわ。
そなたは本を読むとき、本によろしくお願いしますと語りかけてから表紙をめくるか？
そういうことよね。理解したわ。
Just by agreeing to have a conversation with NJ, she was showing an incredible amount of respect and willingness to compromise. NJ shrugged, but she also nodded to show her consent.
いいわ。あんたの朗読者を引き受ける。 あんたが私に同意を求めた時点で最大の敬意を表したことを理解したわ。
良き理解だ、人の子よ。
私の名はエンジェよ。人の子だかタケノコだか呼ぶのはやめて。
良いだろう。私が敬意を示すことの証にそなたの名を認めよう。
For her, acknowledging human names was like acknowledging the names of all the leaves scattered across the ground. So her acknowledging Anja's name was a miracle. No, it was immensely good fortune.
これよりそなた、後ろ宮エンジェを感激の魔女フェザリーノ・アウグストゥス・アウローラの巫女にして朗読者に任ずる。
Which of theater going? Federine Augustus Aurora. FEAA? Fa? What?
そなたが朗読を終えるまで、そなたの朗読を妨げようとするすべてのものに災いを与えよう。
So pretty much we're gonna get all the real stuff now. No, what I mean is no one is gonna stop NJ, right? Until she finishes reading, I guess the whole story. She's gonna stop them is what I'm saying. So yeah, pretty much she's gonna be NJ's protector. Like if Burn Castle, if Lambda Delta would try to interfere with them, she's gonna fight them. When the Witch of Theater Going Federin spoke this, NJ was wrapped in a bright light. Okay, so we're gonna be with NJ this time. Okay. But it makes sense, because yeah, if we're gonna be in Butler's POV, he's pretty much the game master, so we're gonna be knowing what's happening, right? Or what's going on. It's basically like if in episode 5 we were in Lambda Delta's POV. If we did that with Butler is what I'm saying in this one. So bringing Angie back was pretty good. Angie didn't feel any particular change herself, but she definitely had been given something that only non-humans could sense. It signified that from this point forward, Angie would be the Witch of Theater's going subject. That didn't mean that Angie would gain some sort of special power, but at the very least, it probably meant that anyone wanting to cause her harm would not, or would first have to take on Federin herself. Yes.
あんたの名前、随分と長いのね。ローマの偉人みたい。
True. It's like Julius Caesar.
なんと呼べば？
親しくない者はアウグストゥス・アウローラと呼ぶ。
How about Federine? Much more easier.
私に敬意を示してくれたあんたに、私も敬意を示して。フェザリーヌと呼ぶわ。問題は？
ない。病んだこの身には名を呼ばれることさえ噛み締めがいのある優越だ。人の子よ。
エンジェよ、私の名前。
そういうやりとりさえも心地よきかな。エンジェ、我が巫女よ。
NJ accepted her role. She would observe the story with the Witch of Theater going. The curtain was rising on the sixth tale. Dude, this is gonna be fun. A lot of fun. Yes. I can feel it. We just started. This is the first episode, but yeah, I can feel that this is gonna be very good. Okay, so let's take a break here. Let's talk about this. So I have a theory now, as I was talking about earlier. Let me see this. Federine. Okay. So this theory is for the real world, okay? For the real world. I think that the actual, let's say, Toya Hachijo that Angie was talking about, yeah, was not that girl earlier. Let's say the counterpart of Federine, right? So I think that is not, let's say in the real world, for example, right? That is not Toya Hachijo. Because of the forgeries, that seems like it's true. And it seems like a person that is or was in Rokinjima itself on that days, right? So I had a theory back then that maybe someone did survive. I think this one adds to it. Then maybe someone did survive, and I think it is The main character itself, Butler, maybe. Just on that small conversation earlier, it enforced that theory that yeah, maybe Butler did survive. I'm not gonna say Maria survived because she's not the main character. I'm just gonna say Butler did survive. But it could be Maria, who knows, right? Who knows? But as Butler is the main character, maybe he did survive and he is this Toya Hachijo. Remember that we're talking about it earlier. The end, was it the end of the Golden Witch 5th episode? Banquet of the Golden Witch 3rd episode. So those stories are based on, let's say, the real world, right? This game is so complicated that it's, when you're explaining, it's kind of hard to say. But let's say the stories were based on those, right? So for the banquet, I remember this in the 3rd episode. 100%. I was so confused why they did this. There was a scene in a beach with Butler and his cousins, and they were saying that, it's so nice to have all the cousins here together. I included this in my thoughts and theories video. And I was like, why didn't they say Angie here? Yeah, why was Angie why wasn't Angie included here in this scene? Maybe it was a typo? Maybe now it's not, right? So we could say the culprit itself in Rokinjima knew about Angie because she was given a card with money when all of the people died, when the incident happened, right? So if the culprit wrote, let's say, the 3rd story from the mysterious bottles, from the message bottles, she should have known that Angie was a cousin herself and that line shouldn't have been there, right? But it was there. So maybe now we could say that maybe it was Butler or, let's say, Toya Hachijo. Yeah, I mean, did it say that he was the one who wrote Banquet, right? Of the Golden Witch. So why doesn't Toya Hachijo know about Angie? I think I mentioned this as well, but because of the meta world and how it works, it maybe feels like they're trying to tell, let's say it's a purgatory, right? And then Butler doesn't have memories, for example, let's say that. And it's pretty much reminding Butler what happened on the island, those 2 days on the island. So maybe that's why in the 3rd episode Angie wasn't mentioned there. Is because the real Butler that survived maybe had PTSD or whatever, right? Maybe he just forgot it. Not forgot it, but yeah, PTSD, memories gone. And then when he made the forgeries, he didn't know Angie because she was not in the island. Maybe for his memories, let's say this. For his memories, let's say little by little, maybe they're coming back, but he doesn't know what is real or not. So that's why I guess the forgeries are kinda like authentic because it came from a person who was there in Rokinjima, but said person, let's say Toya Hachijo, doesn't fully know what really happened. So there's a couple different forgeries, couple different stories, right? Because remember Angie was mentioned in episode 1. So now we could say that episode 1 and let's say episode 2, because there were 2 mysterious bottles. So we could say that episode 1 and 2 was made by the culprit. The culprit herself made episode 1 and 2, the stories there. And then episode 3 onwards were, or let's say at least up to episode 5, and this one episode 6 because Dawn was mentioned, right? So up until this episode, these are all made by Toya Hachijo, right? It's so confusing, man, seriously. So confusing. Meta world, real world, game world. So hard to explain when you're talking like this. But yeah, that is my theory. Maybe Toya Hachijo is Butler, based on my previous theory back then. But now seeing this, talking to Federine, this lady here, It just enforces it, yes. It just makes it much more realistic. What I mean is, my theory, it makes it much more alive. Because back then it was just speculations, and now we have this. The forgeries itself feels like it's true. That it comes from a person who was there at the time. So you could say that. You can just speculate that, right? But this is gonna be cool. This is gonna be very good, honestly. We just started the episode. And that big of a bombshell, for me at least, has been said. And I can't wait to see what's in store for us for episode 6. We just started, man. Seriously, we just started. Angie's back. Maybe Butler's alive. Maybe. Who knows? We're gonna find out, right? This is gonna be cool. This is gonna be... Oh my god, I can't wait to see what's gonna happen here. So yeah, we are gonna continue this and do more of Umineko When They Cry episode 6 in the next one. So I'll just see you then, guys. Bye bye.